In the ever-evolving landscape of electric vehicles, the year 2025 stands as a clear turning point. Battery technology has matured, charging networks are widespread, and consumers now demand not just electrification, but excellence, especially in the form of range, tech, and performance. It's a world where sleek electric crossovers boast over 300 miles on a charge, autonomous features are baked into dashboards, and new players like Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid continue pushing the limits of innovation. So where does that leave the humble Nissan Leaf? Once a trailblazer in the EV movement, the Leaf was one of the very first mass-market electric cars to hit the streets, carving a path when range anxiety was real and chargers were few. Now in 2025, with the growing crowd of futuristic, feature-loaded electric vehicles, some might wonder, does the Nissan Leaf still have a place in this electrified future? Is it still relevant, or has it been outpaced by shinier, longer-legged newcomers? That's the question we dive into, and the answer might just surprise you. Despite the massive leaps in EV technology, the 2025 Nissan Leaf still stands out, not for its flashiness or record-breaking numbers, but for its refreshing sense of purpose. While the EV headlines may be dominated by high-performance machines and luxury badges, the Leaf continues to quietly fulfill a vital role, making electric mobility accessible to the everyday driver. In an age where the average price of an electric vehicle has soared north of $50,000, the Leaf keeps things grounded, offering a practical, no-nonsense solution for commuters, urban dwellers, and families looking to dip their toes into the electric future without breaking the bank. Its positioning is unique, almost rebellious in its simplicity. It isn't chasing the longest range, the fastest acceleration, or the flashiest touchscreen. Instead, it focuses on value, reliability, and usability, and that's where the story begins. The electric car landscape in 2025 is vast and dynamic. From electric trucks like the Ford F-150 Lightning to futuristic SUVs like the Kia EV9 and sports sedans like the Hyundai Ioniq 6, consumers have more choices than ever before. These vehicles bring extended range, many offering over 300 miles on a single charge, ultra-fast DC charging, and high-tech cabins with voice control, augmented reality HUDs, and full ADAS suites. But with this progress comes a cost, both literally and figuratively. The average EV today is packed with cutting-edge tech, but it also comes with complexity, a learning curve, and, for many, sticker shock. In contrast, the Nissan Leaf remains a beacon of simplicity. It may not be the sexiest EV on the lot, but it offers a familiar, intuitive driving experience wrapped in a package that doesn't try too hard to be futuristic. The 2025 Nissan Leaf may not make headlines the way it did a decade ago, but it still holds a firm position in the evolving EV market. It appeals to drivers who want electric mobility without the overwhelming bells and whistles. For city commuters, college students, and small families, the Leaf still checks a lot of boxes. It's compact and easy to park, efficient for short to medium-range travel, and doesn't demand a premium budget to own or maintain. Its range, while not groundbreaking, has improved slightly with the latest iteration, and for many drivers, the realistic 150 to 212-mile range, depending on trim and battery size, is more than adequate for daily errands, commutes, and even weekend trips. But let's not ignore the challenges the Leaf faces in this competitive landscape. It's now going head-to-head with models like the Chevrolet Bolt EUV, Hyundai Kona Electric, and even entry-level trims of the Tesla Model 3 and BYD Dolphin. These newer rivals often offer better range, more tech, and fresher designs. In this context, the Leaf's relatively shorter range, aging platform, and lack of all-wheel drive could be seen as significant drawbacks. It's no longer the default choice for a first EV, it's now one option among many. To stay competitive, the Leaf relies heavily on its price point and reputation for durability. Nissan has managed to keep the Leaf affordable, and with federal and local incentives, it becomes one of the few new EVs that can realistically come in under $30,000 for many buyers. That affordability, in today's market, is a powerful draw. What's more, Nissan has continued to refine the Leaf with subtle improvements rather than dramatic reinventions. The 2025 model brings slight range improvements, more efficient battery chemistry, and updates to the user interface and driver assistance features. The ProPilot Assist system, while not a true self-driving platform, brings a helpful layer of semi-autonomous capability to long drives and traffic jams. Inside, the cabin remains roomy for a compact car, with comfortable seating, decent cargo space, and an infotainment system that is user-friendly and responsive. It may not blow anyone away, but it doesn't need to. The Leaf is designed to blend into your life, not take it over. The market may have shifted toward bigger batteries and bolder statements, but not everyone needs a rolling tech showcase. For the practical driver who simply wants to ditch gas and join the EV movement without stress, the Leaf offers a compelling package. It's the kind of car that lets you plug in at night, wake up to a full charge, and never think about oil changes again. In an era when so many vehicles are trying to be everything all at once, sports car, lounge, spaceship, the Leaf remains true to its mission to provide clean, affordable transportation to the masses. So, is the 2025 Nissan Leaf still relevant in this brave new world of electric mobility? Absolutely, though not in the same way it once was. It no longer leads the charge in terms of innovation, but it continues to lead where it matters to many drivers, in affordability, simplicity, and everyday usability. It's not a status symbol. It's not trying to be. Instead, it offers something even more valuable in today's EV world, an approachable, efficient, and reliable stepping stone into the electric age. For all the hype surrounding high-performance EVs, the Leaf reminds us that the core mission of electrification is to make clean driving accessible to all, and in that mission, it still delivers. The 2025 Nissan Leaf may not scream revolution at first glance, but spend a little time with it, and you'll realize this car is still quietly evolving in all the right ways. The latest iteration stays true to the Leaf's core philosophy, affordable, practical, and electric. But it also shows that Nissan isn't just coasting on its legacy. The 2025 model brings subtle but meaningful upgrades to the table, giving it a fresher look, smarter tech, and just enough performance tweaks to remain a contender in the growing EV market. While its competitors often flaunt radical changes and conceptual flair, the Leaf sticks with understated refinement, proving that you don't have to shout to be heard. Instead, it speaks in clean lines, a smooth ride, and value-driven engineering. It's an evolution that respects the past while adapting to a very electric future. From the outside, the 2025 Leaf carries forward its distinctive hatchback shape, compact, aerodynamic, and unmistakably urban, but with updated styling cues that lend it a more modern and confident presence. The front fascia has been sharpened with slimmer LED headlights and a redesigned grille area that blends into the bumper more seamlessly than before. New wheel options, available in contrasting two-tone finishes, give the car a touch of personality, while subtle tweaks to the rear diffuser and lighting signature enhance the car's visual width and stability. It's not a radical departure from previous models, but that's the point. The Leaf has always been about familiarity and functionality, and the design team clearly focused on fine-tuning rather than overhauling. This isn't a car trying to be a spaceship, it's a well-rounded, commuter-friendly EV that looks just right on city streets and suburban driveways. Inside, the 2025 Leaf gets a much-needed tech refresh that instantly elevates the cabin experience. The dashboard layout remains simple and intuitive, but now features a new 10.5-inch touchscreen with a crisp, responsive interface and built-in wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The user interface has been reworked for faster navigation, more customizable display options, and fewer menu layers, a subtle nod to the tech-savvy but time-conscious buyer. The instrument cluster is now a fully digital 12-inch display, offering a clean mix of analog-inspired dials and real-time EV data, including battery health, range estimates, and regenerative braking feedback. It's modern, user-friendly, and doesn't try to do too much. Material quality has taken a step up as well, especially in the higher trims. Soft touch surfaces have expanded across the dash and doors, and new eco-friendly upholstery options made from recycled and plant-based materials not only reduce the car's environmental footprint, but also look and feel more upscale. Ambient lighting has been added in subtle accents around the cabin, making nighttime drives feel a little more premium. The seats, long praised for their comfort and ergonomic design, now offer improved bolstering and support, especially in the SL Plus trim. Rear passengers still benefit from ample legroom and headroom, a rarity in compact EVs, and the cargo space remains competitive thanks to the Leaf's hatchback layout. Practicality is baked into the DNA of this car. In terms of technology and convenience, the 2025 Leaf offers an impressive package for the price. Nissan's latest version of ProPilot Assist makes highway driving smoother and more relaxed, integrating adaptive cruise control with lane-keeping assistance in a way that feels more refined and less intrusive than before. A new 360-degree camera system helps with tight parking situations, and an available head-up display projects key information like speed, navigation, and battery range directly onto the windshield. Optional extras like heated seats, a premium Bose sound system, and dual-zone climate control round out the interior experience, giving the Leaf a more mature and well-equipped vibe without pushing it into luxury territory. Performance has also seen some quiet but critical improvements. While the 2025 Leaf doesn't boast sports car numbers, it does deliver a satisfying and responsive drive, especially in urban environments. The base model still uses a 40 kWh battery paired with a 147 horsepower motor, which is ideal for short commutes and city driving. However, the SL Plus trim continues to offer a larger 62 kWh battery and a 214 horsepower motor setup, delivering more robust acceleration and increased flexibility for longer trips. Nissan has fine-tuned the power delivery, making throttle response smoother and more intuitive, and regenerative braking has been updated to feel less abrupt during stop-and-go traffic. A new E-Step mode adds even more one-pedal driving control, which is perfect for dense urban traffic where you're constantly speeding up and slowing down. Range has always been a sticking point for the Leaf, especially as rivals push the envelope well past the 300-mile mark. The 2025 model doesn't shatter any records, but it does improve slightly, with the base trim offering around 155 miles of EP estimated range and the Plus variant reaching up to 226 miles. For many drivers, especially those who stick to routine daily driving, this is more than enough. Still, it's a reality that shoppers will compare the Leaf to newer models with bigger batteries and faster charging speeds. Speaking of charging, the Leaf retains its CHAdeMO mode DC fast charging port, which limits compatibility with some of the newer charging networks that have moved towards CCS and NACS standards. However, Nissan is reportedly exploring options to align future models with North America's evolving infrastructure, so there's hope that change is coming. Where the Leaf continues to shine is in its ride comfort and everyday drivability. The suspension has been retuned for 2025 to absorb bumps more gracefully without sacrificing cornering stability. Steering feel remains light and predictable, making it easy to maneuver in tight city spaces, and the car's compact dimensions make parking a breeze. Sound insulation has been improved as well, keeping road and wind noise to a minimum, which makes a huge difference during long commutes. All of these elements work together to create a sense of calm behind the wheel, a quality that's often missing in performance-obsessed EVs. The 2025 Nissan Leaf, then, is a reminder that not every EV needs to be a revolution. Sometimes, refinement and accessibility are just as valuable. With its updated design, improved interior, and small but meaningful performance gains, the Leaf continues to offer a compelling choice for drivers who want to go electric without complicating their lives or draining their wallets. It may not dominate the EV conversation like it once did, but it still deserves a seat at the table, and for many buyers, it might just be the perfect fit. For all the dazzling hype around long-range electric SUVs, futuristic trucks, and ultra-luxury EV sedans, the 2025 Nissan Leaf still represents something more grounded, something real. It's the electric car for people who simply want a reliable ride that doesn't burn gas and doesn't break the bank. Its affordability and efficiency are its most powerful weapons in an automotive landscape where EVs are increasingly becoming synonymous with high prices and over-the-top specs. For the budget-conscious buyer, The Leaf isn't just an option, it's often the most logical one. With a starting price significantly lower than the majority of its competitors, it continues to occupy a space that few other EVs dare to touch, the realm of the truly affordable electric vehicle. That affordability comes without sacrificing the fundamentals of what makes the Leaf a worthy commuter. It's practical, it's easy to live with, and above all, it's efficient. The Leaf doesn't try to pretend it's a sports car or a spaceship. It's an honest, electric hatchback that gets the job done. And for thousands of drivers across cities and suburbs, that's exactly what they need. With a respectable real-world energy consumption rate that often falls well below 30 kilowatt-hours per 100 miles, the Leaf delivers excellent value per charge. It sips electrons with the grace of a seasoned veteran, stretching every kilowatt-hour like it matters, because to its typical buyer, it absolutely does. What makes the Leaf particularly compelling for everyday commuting is the way it balances its modest range with low operating costs. Electricity, especially when charged during off-peak hours or through home solar setups, remains vastly cheaper than gasoline. Then factor in the lower maintenance costs, no oil changes, fewer moving parts, regenerative braking that prolongs the life of brake pads, and suddenly you have a vehicle that's not just affordable to buy, but remarkably inexpensive to own. In an era when inflation is pushing up prices in nearly every direction, the Leaf is a breath of fresh air. It lets people dip into the electric revolution without taking out a second mortgage. And the Leaf's efficiency isn't just about the drivetrain. Its compact design, aerodynamic shape, and light footprint make it a nimble companion in dense urban environments. Tight parking spots? The Leaf slides in without breaking a sweat. Stop-and-go traffic? Its smooth, silent operation and one-pedal driving mode make the case feel a little more manageable. For anyone who spends most of their time navigating city streets, running errands, or commuting to work, the Leaf feels purpose-built. But as much as the Leaf plays its strengths with confidence, it also carries a few noticeable weaknesses, flaws that become harder to ignore as the EV market races forward. Chief among them is range anxiety. While the Leaf's 155-mile base range or 226-mile maximum range in the Plus trim might be enough for most daily drives, it pales in comparison to competitors offering 300, 350, or even 400 miles on a single charge. For buyers looking to make spontaneous weekend trips or simply reduce charging stops, the Leaf's range can feel limiting. That's especially true when highway driving tends to eat into that number more aggressively than urban commuting does. The anxiety isn't just about the number itself, it's also about flexibility. The Leaf still uses the aging CHAdeMO charging standard, which limits access to some of the newer, faster, and more widely adopted charging networks in North America. This makes long-distance travel even trickier, requiring more planning and, in some cases, slower charging sessions. While CHAdeMO is still functional and available in many places, it's clear that the industry is moving toward CCS and NCS connectors, making the Leaf feel a bit like yesterday's tech trying to survive in today's rapidly advancing ecosystem. Beyond range, the Leaf also trails behind competitors in terms of technology and features. While the 2025 refresh added welcome upgrades, like a larger touchscreen, wireless smartphone integration, and improved driver assistance, the Leaf still feels more basic when compared to similarly priced EVs from brands like Hyundai, Kia, and Chevrolet. Rivals offer larger displays, more advanced infotainment systems, customizable digital dashboards, and semi-autonomous driving features that surpass the Leaf's capabilities. It's not that the Leaf is poorly equipped, it's just not leading the conversation anymore. For buyers who see their car as an extension of their digital life, the Leaf may feel a step behind. Then there's the driving experience. It's smooth, yes. Comfortable, absolutely. But engaging? Not exactly. The Leaf wasn't designed to thrill. Its steering is light and inoffensive. Its acceleration, while snappy around town, won't push you back in your seat, and its suspension prioritizes comfort over handling precision. For the average commuter, that's probably fine. But as EVs start to inject more fun into the driving experience, even at affordable price points, the Leaf risks being labeled as bland. It lacks the zippy personality of something like a Mini Electric or the refined composure of a Hyundai Kona Electric. There's no sport mode, no adjustable dampers, no sense of playfulness behind the wheel. It's an appliance, efficient, reliable, and quiet, but not something that stirs emotion. That said, none of these weaknesses diminish the Leaf's core mission to provide an affordable, no-nonsense entry into electric mobility. In many ways, the Leaf is like a trusty bicycle in a world of carbon fiber racing machines. It may not be the fastest, flashiest, or most advanced, but it gets you where you need to go without asking for much in return. For drivers looking to cut their carbon footprint, save money, and simplify their daily commute, the Leaf still offers a compelling story. It may not win every spec sheet comparison, but it delivers something more enduring: reliability, efficiency, and value in a world that often overlooks the basics in favor of the bold. As newer EVs continue to push boundaries, it's easy to forget the quiet heroism of a car like the Leaf. It's not here to impress, it's here to serve. And for a lot of drivers, that kind of humility wrapped in practicality is exactly what makes the Leaf worth considering. It's not the future in a box, but it's a smart, sensible solution for the present. And in the ever-changing landscape of electric vehicles, that's still something worth celebrating. In a world where electric vehicles are racing toward ever higher ranges, mind-blowing acceleration, and spaceship-like cabins, the 2025 Nissan Leaf quietly holds its ground, not by dazzling headlines, but by delivering something far more meaningful to the average driver: honest, budget-friendly electric mobility. It may not be the flashiest or the fastest, but the Leaf's enduring value proposition lies in its simplicity, reliability, and accessibility. In a market saturated with six-figure EVs and over-engineered gimmicks, the Leaf offers something refreshingly grounded: an affordable electric car that actually works for everyday life. It's the kind of car that doesn't demand compromise for someone transitioning from gas to electric. You don't have to reinvent your lifestyle to drive a Leaf. You just get in and go. That's what makes it so relevant, even in the face of long-range EVs that dominate the headlines. Yes, the Leaf's range isn't record-breaking, and its technology might feel modest next to some of its newer, shinier rivals. But for urban commuters, daily errand runners, and cost-conscious families, the Leaf still checks every box that matters most. Low entry price, low running costs, smooth performance, and a track record of dependability that newer EVs simply haven't had time to prove. The Leaf isn't chasing trends, it's delivering results, day in and day out. And that quiet consistency might just be its greatest strength in a market that often forgets what practicality looks like. Looking forward, there's real potential for Nissan to evolve the Leaf into something even more compelling. As charging infrastructure expands and battery technology improves, a future Leaf with 300 miles of range, fast charging via universal connectors, and a more modern infotainment system could easily reignite its position as a segment leader. The platform has already proven its durability, and Nissan's global experience with EVs gives it a valuable edge. The key will be to keep improving where it matters most, enhancing range and tech features, without straying from the Leaf's core identity as an accessible, affordable electric vehicle for the masses. The question isn't whether the Leaf is the most advanced EV on the road. It's whether it still makes sense for real people living real lives. And in 2025, the answer is a confident yes. For anyone looking to make the switch to electric without draining their wallet or overcomplicating their drive, the Leaf offers a clear and compelling choice. It proves that you don't need a giant screen, 400 miles of range, or supercar performance to be part of the electric revolution. Sometimes, what you really need is a car that just fits your budget, your lifestyle, and your values. The 2025 Nissan Leaf does exactly that. It's not trying to be everything to everyone. It's simply trying to be the right car for those who want to move forward, quietly and confidently, into an electric future. And in that mission, the Leaf is still very much alive and relevant.